What's up, Wo there? That's your boy, Reese. I don't know if too many of y'all are familiar with me. My name is Maurice Dantzler. I have been pretty devoted to animals my entire life. I grew up with so many pets, from salamanders to lizards to Uromastyx lizards, if you guys are familiar with those. Pretty cool little guys from the sub-Saharan Africa area. Had a scorpion at one point. It's been a lot of different pets, but I've always had a passion for animals and wildlife my entire life since I was, young, going to Boy Scouts. I was always getting books about sharks, getting books about different animals, so it's been a passion of mine. And that same passion transcended through college, where I went to study wildlife biology at Ball State University. Ended up graduating with just like a regular Gen Bio degree, but I studied wildlife for basically the entirety of that, took every single course, and now I feel like it's kind of in my best interest to spread some of my knowledge and to really be able to reciprocate the very hypocrisies of society these days when it comes to animals and how animals really are. So that's really why I'm starting this channel, and that's really why I look forward to being able to show you guys what it's really like, what these animals really are, and how interesting and cool they are to be around. Because a lot of animals, such as snakes, for example, have been misconceived all through history as terrible things, but that's not the case. And I hope that watching this YouTube channel, you grow to love some animals. So that's basically it about me. Like I said, just real passionate, been here for a long time, been studying this stuff, got a great background. I did a little bit of independent research, was a part of some different societies. So yeah, I hope you guys can watch this, and I hope you guys can really learn and start to really develop your own passion for certain animals and see what's so great about all of them. Thanks, guys. Be around. Because a lot of animals, such as snakes, for example, have been misconceived all through history as terrible things, but that's not the case. And I hope that watching this YouTube channel, you grow to love some animals. So that's basically it about me. Like I said, just real passionate, been here for a long time, been studying this stuff, got a great background. I did a little bit of independent research, was a part of some different societies. So yeah, I hope you guys can watch this, and I hope you guys can really learn and start to really develop your own passion for certain animals and see what's so great about all of them. Thanks, guys. All right, YouTube, what's up? It's your man's Wo there, Wildlife. We're back here today. We're at Muscatatuck National. It's a national, no, it's just a state park. Muscatatuck State Park, where we're hopefully gonna find, this is a great spot for some salamanders. You can see there's a lot of rocky outcropping, a lot of rocky outgrowths. Really looking for the marbled salamander, which is one of my favorites that I've yet to find. Hopefully we'll see that today. This is gonna be one of our mini stops. I imagine we're gonna probably go towards Madison a little bit more. There's even more salamanders down there that I've yet to have in my hands. So yeah, hopefully it's pretty good weather. There's it's a little windy, which is a little bad for amphibians, but other than that, I think we're gonna have a real successful day. So we'll see how it goes. Guys, we got our first frog of the day. Okay, he's a little baby guy, probably probably a few months old. Turns out he's a green frog and not an American bullfrog, and you can tell that strictly because of the dorsolateral ridges on its back. Your bullfrog will not have any ridges whatsoever. It'll be very smooth, and they'll also have a fourth digit. Well, yeah, the fourth digit, which would be this one, in this case, fourth digit from the right, would be a little bit longer. So yeah, here he is. I'll get him up close. Beautiful little guy.
Stop focusing. There it is.
There he is. Huh? And another thing is, in order to sex these guys, it's not so helpful among juvenile frogs just because they're not as developed, but normally right here, which is actually their tympanum, will be larger than the males will have a larger tympanum in comparison to their eyeball. So right here, if I were to sex this, if it were an adult, due to the tympanum being about the same size as the eyeball, I would call this a female green frog. All right, I'm gonna let this guy go. Back in the water. Never to be seen. All right, let's see what else is out here.
Frog.
Wow. Wood frog. Are you filming it?
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting it? All right, let me go ahead. Found another species not even 20 feet away. This is your wood frog, and it's one of my favorite frogs, Lithobates sylvatica. It has just some absolutely insanely adaptive characteristics. For example, this frog is one of the only life forms on the planet that can put itself in suspended animation by freezing itself using glucose to be a kind of like a median between the freezing point, therefore saving 2/3 of its body. So it'll freeze 2/3 of its body over the winter, and will essentially entirely freeze out, or excuse me, dry out, and come back to basically come back to life like nothing just happened. So here it is. This is the first one I've ever caught in Indiana, and the distinguishing characteristic for these guys is the black mask on their face. You see that it has a really acute black mask. I've only ever caught these guys in Michigan, but they range a lot of North America. Pretty cool. Okay, gonna go ahead and let him go, or he'll let himself go. See ya. Yeah, that's why I was over here, because I already knew this is perfect for amphibians. Nice and cool, yet easy access to the sun. Got plenty of space to hide. Oh, you recording them?
Yeah.
So this is another green frog. Oh, you got him. You still recording? It's another green frog right there. A little bit older. You can just tell by its coloring. So another thing is the coloring with these guys is very dependent on the amount of blood flow they have. Obviously, when you have one like this who's in a cool area, they're basically cooling off and it's slowing down their metabolism. They turn this real brownish color. Whereas the one that I had earlier was sitting in the sun and it was very vibrant green, hence the name green frog. We've got a Fowler's. All right, guys, check this out. Very, very similar to your American toad, except for if you look very closely, for example, right where my fingernail is at, you can see the black markings on their back have multiple dots, as opposed to an American toad, which will have 2 at the most. So if you can see this little spot by my finger and count the amount of brown dots within the black circle, or the black speckling on it, you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Anything in excess of 2 will mean that it's typically your American toad. I'm not 100% on their hybridizations because I know that they're very closely related. So typically what experts have gone with is 3 or more means it's a Fowler's toad. So the toad in my last video was actually an American toad, and this is the very closely related Fowler's toad, Anazyrus fowleri. Okay, I'll put it back over here. Oop. And he's hopping back to his home. All right, somehow critter number 3 in this little gorge. This is oh my God, he's active today. Look at his ass. Running. This is a northern dusky salamander. Pretty cool. There's not too much to know about these guys other than that they look just like that. you know, very characteristic of the rocky environment that they use to hide as well as breed in. If you see, they have a dog-like head. It's very dog-like head. I really wasn't gonna try to cuss in this one for the kids, but I'm sorry, kids at home. So this is my first experience with this guy too. I'm almost positive he's a dusky. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost 95% he's a dusky. We'll have to check on that, but look at him. Oh my God. You see, he's active as hell. Beautiful, very rocky. They look very similar to a mud puppy or a, Ooh, where you going? Where you going? Don't jump. All right, well, I've had my fun with this guy. I'm gonna go ahead and put him back under this rock. But look at that. Woo! I got you. He's a little too active. Great find. Don't get to see those guys too often. Let's keep moving. Let's see what we get to. I can fix that. I just want to say that shit with this hat, man. It's just every time I put this thing on, I feel like the dude off Huck Finn, you know what I'm saying? Sam, is that his name?
Are you talking about holes? Holes, though.
Oh, no shit. Okay. Well, anywho, viewers, I am now at Clifty Falls Creek. It is a park in Madison, Indiana. It's about 25-30 minutes away from where we have just been at in Muscatatuck. There's actually, and this is according to the park ranger who was at the entrance, there has been copperhead, or heads plural, spotted at this location. And today, folks, I would love to see a copperhead. I don't know about you. So now, probably gonna venture for another hour or so through one of these trails. It'll see some cool little waterfalls, see a couple other things. I'm not too sure what exactly is out here other than, actually I am. It's probably gonna be a lot of salamanders, probably gonna be a lot of turtles, given the orientation of the sun. That's another big thing. If you're ever trying to go outside and really observe some of these things that I'm showing you in these videos, you gotta pay attention to biology, and the orientation of the sun is like key to finding things and that are going to be active throughout the day. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get rolling. Not quite a bug person, but we flipped this log and found this guy who's pretty big and pretty cool. So I'm kind of millipeed. Wow. That is a creepy crawly. I'll have to identify this guy later, and I'll probably put him in the look at that. I think it's his face right there. Oh man. Yeah, look at him go. Let's just get him on the run. Look at that. That's a good about 3 inches long. Look at all those legs. Ooh.
That is not focusing at all.
Oh, that's a good shot. Damn, that was my stomach.
If it would focus, it would be good, great. There it is.
Not sure what kind of millipede this is, but I know they can bite, and this is a pretty big guy, so I'm not really trying to get bit by his ass. If you look at those eyes in the front, I think that's what they were. But alright, put this guy back under his little rock. Oh, he's got eggs under there. That's what that appears to be. Let me go over there. Alright, you wouldn't believe how it's actually really hard to just get him off. Damn. Let me put you back underneath your rock. Alright, that's cute. Alright, y'all, we got our first real find and also a great teaching point right here. All throughout the summer there will be turtles on the road just like this trying to get across. It's important that you take necessary steps, make sure the area is safe, and once you can kind of pull over, help these guys get across the road, because right now is ideally when they're trying to get to safety, breed, do all different types of things. For the most part, when you pick them up, they're gonna go just like that. You can hold them in your hand like this. They're gonna, for the most part, always be in their shell, and it's a great way to hold them like this is just underneath your hands. Keep them nice and kind of curdled, safe. And we will place this guy, who is a baby box turtle, Terrapene Carolina. See if you can get a good shot of his face. Not really. You see, he's pretty boxed up. I'm trying to see. I think there's a trick. Let me try putting him back on the ground. See if you can see his little face. Yeah, there's cargo. Hopefully they're not turning in here. Is my hand shaking and shit? Nothing. Oh. Wow. Maybe if you put it in the water too.